Hey guys, welcome back. So it's time for another Wally update. Okay, so what I did this time is I started breaking up the model that I created in Tinkercad in order to print him. Now this has by far been the hardest model I've had to split up yet, but I'll talk about that a little bit once we're in there, so let's go check it out. Alright guys, remember this nice looking Wally that I had all put together? Well, boom, not anymore. That's right, I've split him up. For the most part, I still have not gotten the body yet, but everything else has been split up. And I actually printed out a few pieces that I had split up, and I think I'm going to have to reprint them, so I re-split them because I just didn't do a very good job of splitting them. And the reason for that was that I actually had them too detailed. And now, because this Wally is going to actually be pretty small, and so a lot of the details aren't really going to show up, and some of them are kind of hidden. I went too far with the details. So in order to make it print better, like this right here is the wheel bracket. These used to be perfect cylinders, but I extended them out into kind of a flat bottom there in order to make them print without supports. Because I've also got holes down there for the gear and to attach some other things, and when you put on supports it tries to fill those, and the supports are really hard to get out of those. And it's just, I prefer not to print with supports whenever I have the option. So I did that, and where you won't be seeing the cylinders from the backside really, because they'll pretty much be up against Wally and behind treads, I didn't figure that was a huge compromise. And then like the arm, I had split kind of weird in order to kind of work with this lip here, but it turns out that lip is small enough that it prints without any problems anyway. So I'll split it directly down the middle, and that way we can do some things here that will allow the hand to rotate. And here's the hand. And then the eyes I split up like this. It turns out they're at a slight angle, so I could not split them cleanly without this part of the eyes up here. So there will be a little seam on the top, which I wanted to avoid, but I couldn't really without printing with supports. And I also had to adjust his head, the mount for his head a little bit to make that print, because it did just cut off here initially. And so I kind of rounded it out, because you won't really be able to see that. And that will just allow it to print without an overhang. So that should be good. And actually his neck I had to make some significant modifications, because you can kind of see what it looks like there. And then, well, over here you can see better. So this is more reminiscent of what Wally's neck actually looks like, but I had to make that section bigger in order to fit the motor inside. And you can see sort of the hole in there for that. So that part's a little bit bigger, but I didn't think that'd be that big of a deal, because when the head's on there it doesn't look that much different. The front's still the same. There's just not a gap right here where there would have been before. So I think that works out pretty good. And then I actually put a hole in there. Well, I'm going to in the body. I haven't done that yet, but there's a hole that actually travels all the way through this in order to pass the wires through. So we'll see how that prints. I might have to make some changes there. And then of course we've got all of the wheels and stuff over here, and those should print perfect. And then with these treads over here, I'm going to wait until I have these tires, or these drive wheels, printed, and then I'm going to start messing with these to see the exact size that I need to perfectly go around this, because that's ultimately what they're going to be hinging on. And I actually think I'm going to be able to get rid of that gap for the most part, but we'll see. I'll just print out a couple pieces, test it out, and then move from there. So aside from this body, everything's pretty much done. And then I've also got just like a few connection pieces that are related to how I split up that body. But I should hopefully be done doing this weekend, and then I can spend next week printing this out. Okay guys, now let's take a look at what I've got printed so far. That's right, I've actually started printing him. So this is a pretty big update. And as I mentioned before, I actually ran into some problems with these pieces and how they printed. So I've already resplit these up, and I'll have to reprint them, but that's not that big a deal because they're not very big. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. First of all, we've got the arm, and this printed in two pieces here, but like I said, I'm going to redo this. And actually I'm going to be attaching this piece here to this and then splitting it more directly down the middle here, and it'll just print like that. And then you'll just attach the two pieces. And then the hands actually print in this orientation. Turns out these fingers here are exactly 45 degrees, so no supports are needed. And then hopefully I'll have an easy way to attach this so you'll actually be able to rotate the hand. And then I'm actually going to work in some mechanism here so the arm you'll be able to rotate too. There'll be nothing electronic doing this, but you'll be able to manually adjust it. And then this right here is the wheel mount, wheel brackets, whatever, the stuff that the tread goes around. And I've printed off the actual drive wheel, so you can see that here. Came out pretty good. It's got the logo on it and everything, and all the spokes to turn the treads. So I've got two of those. And then this is actually the gear that will drive it. And then we're going to be using this motor right here to, and another gear will be attached to that, sort of like this. So, and then I just have a little shaft here that goes right through both of those, and then through the back of this. And then I actually have a little spacer here, and then the wheel goes on like that. So, kind of looks like those toy tractors that you get. But the motor will actually mount back here, and you can actually see the hole for that. So it'll go like that, and then the gear will turn this gear, and hopefully he'll drive. Alright, well that's all I have for now that's actually been printed, but once I get the body finished being split up, I will just print out all of the parts. Alright guys, well there you have it. The next Wally update video will be 2 weeks from now. Actually 2 weeks from yesterday because I was late getting this video up. I think that will be the last Wally update video, and then Wally will be released shortly after that. Because I'm going to be spending this week printing him out, so I'll have all the printed out parts. I'll do a little bit of testing with the electronics, and that's what you'll see in the next update video, and then I'll be passing it on to my wife to do all the post-processing and painting. And I will also be posting some update pictures and progress and stuff like that on my Twitter account. Link is in the description if you want to follow that for some more frequent updates. Alright guys, well I think I'll leave it there. If you're wondering what to watch next, check the little eye up here, and don't forget to like down here, and if you have not already, subscribe down here. Alright, thank you for watching guys. See you next time.